So welcome to our audience, to our presenters and our judges. I'll introduce our judges and our presenters as they come up, but we're very pleased to have you here. This event today is a capstone of a lengthy process that has run on for a number of months in terms of people applying and refining down to today's four presenters. This AgriFoodTech Innovation Grant pitch competition is a production of AgStart. We do that in conjunction with the Sacramento Entrepreneurial Growth Alliance, which is a local Sacramento collaboration of entrepreneur support organizations and other organizations. It's also in conjunction with the California Office of the Small Business Advocate, Cal-OSBA, who have been sponsoring and funding this effort. AgStart is a regional nonprofit. We support startup companies that are advancing technology innovation in our global food system. We're here supporting these technology startups. We provide a number of services in terms of mentorship, connections, communications, and we provide incubation facilities as well. Not all the presenters here have had prior connection to AgStart. We're just sponsoring this on behalf, producing this on behalf of the local region. This Innovation Grant Pitch Competition is open to startups within the 8-county greater Sacramento region. You can read the number of counties: Yolo County, where we're located now, but Sacramento, Colusa, Sutter, Yuba, Nevada, Placer, and El Dorado counties as well. It was restricted to early stage companies that have raised less than $20 million of capital. We want to provide a cap to really focus on those early stage pre-commercial companies. The winner of this competition today, our judges are selecting who will be nominated for a $50,000 non-dilutive grant from the California Office of the Small Business Advocate. This money has been set aside and committed, and really these finalists, this is the final pitch competition that they will be going through of the multi-stages they've progressed through already, and we will be announcing the winner this evening at the food front, a welcome reception this afternoon at 4 o'clock, between 4 and 5:30 out here in the courtyard. With that, I want to introduce the judges for today's pitch competition. We have 3 judges, all representing investors in agri-food technology. Our first judge is Danny Bernstein from The Reservoir, followed by Francesca DeCruz of Fall Line Capital, a well-known and long history of investments in agri-food technology as well as agri-food production, and Connie Bowen from Farmhand Ventures. We'll be having the judges review the presentations. The judges will have the chance to ask questions of our presenters at the end of their 5-minute presentation, and then we'll move on to the next presentation. And I'm realizing I should probably take 2 of these microphones over to our judges so that they can ask questions as they go through their session. The first presenter representing BioChosen will be Jeff Nelson, who is the Senior Director for Marketing and Branding at BioChosen. Come on up, Jeff. Green arrow advances your slide.
Cool, thank you. Okay, 5 minutes. Well, as I said, I'm Jeff Nelson with BioChosen. We make biomaterials, packaging materials from organic waste. Really focused on 3 things: cost-effective production, we're in line with current materials out there, green chemistry, and making biodegradable products. The reason we do this is, as we know, we've got a major problem with plastic. It's a big contributor to greenhouse gases, made from some nasty stuff, and at the end of its life becomes microplastics, which we're finding in every nook and cranny of our body and continuing learning how bad it is for us. We make a ton of this stuff, and it's projected to triple by 2060. Now, we make so much because it's a pretty good product, let's be honest. It's very durable, flexible, and can last a long time. And because of that, there are a lot of alternatives that are currently out there. Now, the problem is a lot of those alternatives have a decent start, usually still have petroleum as a large part of them, and have a pretty shaky finish, meaning it is either compostable or recyclable. Now, considering that, it's still expensive and it still cannot meet current demands. So definitely a space for us to slide in with our solution, which we call EcoChosen. EcoChosen is made from organic waste, green chemistry, and a CO2 negative production process. It is biodegradable, meaning it's both compostable and recyclable, and is neutral in solid waste and no microplastics. So how do we make this EcoChosen? We take, like we said, organic waste. So we're thinking agri-food waste, everything here. We'll love the leftover pieces of it. We're taking the husk and the hulls of almonds, pumice from grapes, all that stuff. We can then extract the elements in the middle there, the biomass out of that, and then through a fermentation process, then a compounding process, ultimately create a biomaterial, packaging material, something similar like this. You know, nice little clean sheet there, a sheet here. And at the end of it, these things are, since they're organic, can be fed right back into the process and themselves become feed for new pieces of material. Now, the market for biomaterials and plastics is massive. Just the biomaterials alone, about 3.1 billion, and expected to increase about 20% by 2030. And a big limiting on that is currently that demand can't be met. There's just not enough manufacturing of biomaterials like this, which is why we think there's a huge opportunity for us to come in and meet that demand and deliver on that promise and actually create a material. Now, consumers want this. If you continue to look at what consumers want, they want an alternative to traditional plastics. So we're excited about being able to help service that market. Now, based off of where we are in our process, where the market looks like, and some connections with people in the industry, actual producers of plastic bags and whatnot, we project about by 2030, we can have a revenue of around 20 million with a margin of around 15 million. So our cost at the end of the day for all in is around $1.50 to produce a pound, wholesale $6 to $12 for wholesale, $12 for retail of this. That being our major projection of revenue. Also working with licensing the technology and processes to allow others to create this based off of where they are, both access to feedstock and access to producers of bags and other packaging material. So where are we in our path? We've developed our prototypes. You can see here, beautiful little things we've created. Got little stamps of the cookie sheets that they were made in, which is amazing. They've blasted, this is a couple years old, still holding together, an amazing product. And now we are currently in pilot scale. We've raised $1.1 million to date, and we are actively working with compounders and extruders. And as of about 2 months ago, we were just making stuff like this. Now we are actually making pellets, and pellets being the ultimate thing that we will sell to extruders and blown film makers who will make bags and other stuff out of it. So we're very excited about our progress and very excited about where we are in that movement. And lastly, the team behind this, we've got a very passionate and committed team. Mohammed, our founder, who's the brains behind the actual making of the plastic, but then we have people with a lot of experience in polymers, business, and sustainability, both on polymers on the sales side and the technical side. So a very committed, excited team. We're super excited to be here. And I think that is it. Thank you. So any questions or comments? I'm gonna switch your mic.
Hello.
There you go. Okay.
Thanks so much.
I'm gonna step closer.
Oh, you know.
No, that's all right. I'll be here.
So just a little bit on how you take the organic waste and extrude it into those materials. Can you drop into existing plastic extrusion tech today? Or
Yeah,
how does that work?
really good question. So yeah, we're very focused on delivering what the industry currently uses, and that's why we're focused on creating pellets, and we're excited that we're able to pelletize currently. So to get to there, there's sort of a two-step process. We'll call it the upstream process, which is extracting the ingredients we need to make the biomaterial from the waste. So that's sort of our upstream process, and that is using an open culture fermentation. We can extract out the lignins and the minerals and everything we need for that, and then that's all mixed together and ultimately compounded and extruded into pellets. And then pellets will be sold to the people who blow bags or make films or whatever is needed, or extruded into or injected, molded, or whatever. So, yeah, ultimately, our goal is to be very flexible and deliver to them what they currently are working in. So, yeah.
On the input side, do you have an optimum input? Because obviously, input dictates output, and there's a bajillion types of food biomass waste inputs.
Yes, good question. We need a mixture of it because we have, we're able to extract various ingredients from various parts of it. So we prefer a good mixture of raw material, which we can get in this area. Like sometimes we've made some of these plastics. I believe this one here was actually made out of dehydrated food. So we were able to get all the materials we needed just out of dehydrated food because we have a partnership with somebody who goes around the schools and collects the leftover foods and dehydrates it. So that allows us to get there. So it's pretty flexible, knowing that we're going to have a mixture of different things. So we can extract it, well, maybe we have more from extracting something out of a hull from an almond than we need. We can save that and then extract it from other pieces there. So yeah, they're basically we're collecting the raw materials and then mixing them later on.
I guess, are you optimizing? Are you planning on optimizing input so you can manage that the input supply chain a little bit more easily?
Yes, we are very much planning to optimize it. So we have sort of two stages, the upstream stage and then the downstream stage. We are currently using sort of off-the-shelf ingredients to go to market where we are. And then we will start working on the upstream stage, knowing that is more capital intensive to get that equipment up and going. So right now we figure get to market with a product that is truly organic. Then stage 2 is develop that second upstream stage of.
I'll stop after this. Can you do woody biomass?
Yes.
And if yes, okay, we can
use
talk
yard waste and woody biomass. Yes, even cardboard.
Just a quick question on structure of your team. Is Mohammed the CEO? He's the founder, something in between?
Yes, good question. Mohammed is currently founder and CEO of the team, yeah.
And then what about competition for you guys?
Sorry, what's that?
Competition?
What competition? There are multiple people currently working on this. Like I said, it's a big problem. There's definitely a large number of competition. What gives us confidence is, one, currently can't meet demand for biomaterials, and every extruder and compounder and blow and fill maker we talk to says, when can we have it? They're like, and also conversations with brands as well. They're like, great, we'll give you all our lemons after we've made our lemon juice, you give us bags. So we're really confident in that part of it because there's a massive desire for this, and it's not anywhere near the production capacity currently.
Thank you very much, Jeff. We appreciate it. Our next presenter at the pitch competition is Anvita Gupta from AI Nova Bio. I can hold that. Thank you.
Thought we might need this for the questions.
Excellent.
Okay. This is to go forward. This is to go. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Anvita Gupta. I'm the founder and CEO of AI Nova Biotech. I did my bachelor's and master's in computer science from Stanford, and at AI Nova Biotech, we are focusing on leading the frontiers of artificial intelligence in agriculture from right here in Woodland. We are actually based at AgStart. And so why agriculture? Agriculture is foundational to California's economy. It's a $61 billion industry generating 415,000 full-time jobs. We have 400 plus agricultural commodities that makes us a major supplier of fruits and vegetables in the United States. But this economy is threatened by crop diseases, which cost California $3 billion per year. Viruses, bacteria, and other pests threaten the future of California's agricultural industry. And at AI Novo Biotech, we have developed a generative AI platform to help seed biotech companies solve this problem. Our platform helps them create new crop varieties to meet changing global demands, transforming the way that agriculture is conducted today. Our major platform capabilities are disease resistance, then of course protein optimization, genomics for target discovery, and AI agents for data integration. We are building this platform with an award-winning interdisciplinary leadership team from Stanford, the NIH, and Honeywell. And innovation is in our company's DNA. AI Novo was started based on research that I did, starting at Harvard Medical School and then ETH and Stanford, where we were building some of the first generative AI models for biomolecular optimization and seeing huge increases in success rates with R&D. And for this, I was honored at the White House. And based on this research, I founded AI Novo to bring these advances to agriculture, a huge untapped market where R&D takes a lot of time and a lot of effort, and we're hoping to change that with our platform. We have global and California-based clients in agriculture already who are commercializing our platform. Big players like you can see here, HM Klaus, Vilmore and Mikado Lima Grain. And you can see a testimonial from Julian Sacre, who is one of our clients, saying how our platform is actually helping them adapt agriculture in a fast-changing global environment. And so our platform is based on the principle of our own proprietary AI models, which allow customers to understand crop disease at a new scale, to intervene molecularly, and ultimately create durable resistance in crops to these pathogens. We have a 3-tiered engine, starting with AI Curious, which includes AI agents for data integration and analysis. Built on top of that are generative models for biomolecular design, and then an optimization platform for narrowing down candidates. And if you look at our competitive advantage, at AI Novo, what we are offering is unprecedented speed of our models and atomic level accuracy. So we are able to look into the very, very minute details of crop disease resistance and tell you exactly what molecular changes you should make to optimize your target crop. And we are already delivering results for our clients. So with one customer, we are able to look at, through our models, 3.2 million mutations of the target crop and able to isolate one change which increased disease resistance by 86% against the target pathogen, which is a huge increase. If you were to screen all these mutations in the lab, the equivalent time is 13 years and 30,096 well plates for any biologists in the audience. So just imagine that. And we are focused on scaling for the future. This is just the beginning. There are 2,000 diseases which are impacting California's crops today. But more than that, we see this platform as scaling to additional crop varieties as well. And in doing so, we aim to generate more jobs for California, both farming and non-farming. We want to increase crop yield. And what we really see ourselves as building is the future ag tech discovery engine, which is optimizing and underpinning the $61 billion industry, which is California's agricultural economy. And so, thank you guys so much, and it's a pleasure to be here today and answer your questions. I'm gonna put on my headphones 1 second.
Thank you so much. A quick question around the current data sets that your models are trained on, and then how do you set up your partnerships with, let's say, Lima Grain, for example, as a way for them to be able to target, future, let's say on the breeding side, crop types versus data share?
That's a great question. As you know, data is the foundation of any AI company. The interesting thing in ag tech is data is incredibly siloed and actually very hard to gather from any one publicly available database. So that's where our platform really comes in, where we've built tools to gather and integrate data sets from multiple sources into a large data pool, data lake, on which our models are trained. With customers' data, customers' data is kept independent from other customers' data. So to tell you the truth, a lot of customers don't have sufficient data on which to train these sorts of models. So we actually use data from customers more for validation purposes to make sure sanity check our predictions. And they've been very pleased with the results because they see that the data points that took them several years to gather are being predicted by our models, even in the correct ranking. So the top mutation that they found corresponds to one of the top mutations predicted by our model, and then we have more that they didn't even test that are looking better than that. So that's how we integrate customer data into our model. Yeah, thank you.
Can you talk a little bit more about how you end up working with your customers? So like if I am the leading hemp genetics company and I want to work with you to make more efficient my breeding discovery, what does that look like from a revenue standpoint? What does it look like from a business integration standpoint?
Yeah. So we have a software as a service platform, which we provide our customers. But of course, what you're touching upon is companies have very, very specific needs, right? Some of those fall into similar categories, like a lot of companies want to optimize a genome for some property or some sort of disease resistance, so those models build on top of each other. We do have the capability to work with customers on a more customized basis. To make that worthwhile for us, we are looking at royalty models to support that. And I think that's fair. If you have a crop that is, the new leading tomato or new leading cantaloupe eaten by the world, the AI discovery engine is part of that, right?
And so you want to ride along with those royalties? Like that's the idea, is that you'd participate in that?
Yeah, we'd participate in royalties. We're also looking at milestone-based payments, similar to what you have in pharma. But here we have more focused on like field trials and so forth.
And have you been able to close one of those, or is it more like kind of floating that to some of these companies? Say, hey, we might consider a model like this.
So in terms of closing royalties, I can't disclose the actual terms of our
That's okay,
agreements.
but more like you've gotten over that hump.
Yes, yeah. We've gotten over that hump. Milestone-based payments, companies are very open to. And then royalties, it's a little early in the process, but they're open to it. So we're driving that.
Have you had a hard time partnering with multiple corporates in one particular commodity, or they're flexible?
Yeah, so we don't sign non-compete agreements, but they're pretty flexible in that, honestly, companies are not usually working on the same exact crop or the same exact disease mechanism. So we're able to sometimes find ways around that, optimizing different disease mechanisms and so forth. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Very good.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you very much, Anvita. Take that. Our next presenter is Cody Yothers from Optimized Foods. There you go, Cody.
Okay, hello. All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Cody Yothers from Optimized Foods, co-founder. Optimized Foods is a company that came out of UC Davis and research that was done there, and actually started 6 years ago with a field trip to the almond hull processing plant right here in Woodland, and some funding from the California Almond Board. So just a little anecdote. Our customers are food and ingredient companies, and they have a couple of big market shifts right now. Primarily, consumer demand for healthier and more whole food ingredients, and also importantly, a sustainable local supply chain due to rising input costs and supply chain volatility. And my argument for them is that right here, domestically, we have all of the nutrient resource that we need. It's just being underutilized currently. And what I'm talking about is agricultural residues. So, or byproducts. So I don't want to call them waste because they're not wasteful. They have a lot of sugar, polyphenols, bioactive compounds. It's just that we're not currently using them in our agricultural model. So there's an opportunity here to valorize that material into ingredients that we can sell into these large CPG companies. And that's what Optimized Foods does. We take agricultural residues, we use fermentation using fungi or koji. It looks a lot like a brewery. And out of that, we get a biomass that can be used for a lot of different products. This is all based on a patented technology that came out of UC Davis. We call it the mycocarrier. There's some images of our fungi. It's FDA grass, wild type. It's commercially scalable and really resilient. So the reason that this technology works is that spherical mycelium morphology allows us to do something called bioencapsulation. We can take the most valuable molecules or chemicals inside of the agricultural residues and turn them and stabilize and encapsulate them into our biomass, making a variety of different products based on what we're cultivating on. All of that happens in a very simple one-step process and during fermentation. So what you're seeing on the right is what's coming out of the bioreactor, ready to be used as an ingredient. So I'm going to give you one example of how our business works. So cocoa, long story short, is produced in Africa and South America, shipped to the US and the EU and processed here. So the agricultural residue is actually produced domestically. Cocoa prices are really high. That means that there's the need for alternatives or analogs, and the companies are looking for these solutions. And so this is our beachhead market. We've identified a $250 million revenue beachhead of the $5 billion cocoa powder market. And what we did is we took those residues and we fermented we fermented the cocoa byproducts with our koji mycelium, and we made cocoa koji, which is a cocoa powder analog. So it's a drop-in replacement. You can use this up to 30% in your formulation, reducing your formulation of your original cocoa powder by 30%. So this led to a partnership with one of the world's largest cocoa processors, Cargill. And with them, we've continued to develop this product, and now it's lower cost than cocoa. It has some emergent properties that actually help with formulation beyond just being a replacement. And it's high protein, high fiber, and a great product. So we continue to work with them, and where it's leading to is a licensing model. So with Cargill, they're vertically integrated. They have their own fermentation capability, so we would be licensing our technology to them. This is just one example of how our platform has been used across the marketplace. So we have Cocoa Koji, our beachhead market. We also have 2 different products in development, one on rice hulls, or rice bran, and the other on almond hulls, which is a pet care product. We also have a company that's licensed a CPG product from us called Cultured Caviar, which is a vegan caviar that we also grow on almond hulls. So they've licensed that technology, and it'll be launched in 2026, which is exciting. So this just reflects we have a very healthy sort of pipeline of people coming to us with interest in alternative ingredients made from koji, from side streams, and we've signed 3 co-development deals at this point, and with a 4th that's just about to be signed, and those 3 total of $450,000 closed from partner investment. We also have 2 exclusively licensed patents from UC Davis, and also 1 solely filed patent. We have a great team. We employ 6 people at Davis, and then the core team is me and my co-founder, Zane Starkowolf, who's also in the chemistry department at UC Davis, and then Thomas Hart, who worked with these large CPG companies for 20 years. We also have a great team of advisors, including my advisor and fundamental scientist, Dr. Zhang, from the Bio and Ag Engineering Department at Davis, one of the leading fermentation engineers, Tyler Barzy, and then Justin Whiteley, who through Meaty actually took fermentation products to market. So we're raising some money, seed round. What we want to do with that money is deliver on our cocoa beachhead, also to build a pilot scale reactor, hopefully in this region. And I'm going to stop there because I'm at time and take your questions. Thank you very much. Okay.
Testing. There we go.
Oh,
We got it.
You got it.
You guys have really come a long way. It's awesome to see all the progress. A question for you is why caviar? And that's a surprise. I think cocoa, there's a lot of discussion about what's happening in cocoa right now and the climate challenges, all those sorts of things, but I was surprised to see caviar on there. Do people still eat caviar? Is that a real problem to solve?
That's a great question. So so the product, the cultured caviar product, was our first developed and deployed product we used initially to raise money and gather interest. But we had so much interest in it that a company wanted to license it and launch it on their own in 2026. So we said, of course, especially right now, a company our size and our stage, we need to make some money. So that's that. And I do think it's a problem to solve. It's the most endangered species family in the world is the sturgeon. So that is, but it's not our big business play. It's just something that's happening.
Kind of off of that, are you making money off of licensing agreements right now? Like, what are your revenues like right now?
So right now, I don't know if I'd call it revenues, are from R&D partnerships and co-development projects with our partners. The licensing model is what we're established that we're moving towards. For the caviar, once they start making sales, we have like a licensing agreement with that company. They're called FIRA. And then, so we don't have any actual revenue from licensing at this time.
Okay, I guess what I'm getting at with that is like, okay, you've got pet food industry, cargo, obviously on the cocoa side. You're obviously trying, I think you're trying to move towards a model where you're operationally extremely lean, but it sounds like right now you are bearing some of the product risk that the new caviar company bears, and cargo's cargo. But right, like so right now you're in it on that risk with them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks, Cody. From a technology perspective, could you describe a little bit more around the bioencapsulation, like lifespan? So how long is that shelf life viable to run through a product like that?
Great question. So let's take like one or two examples. So fats are one thing that we've done a lot of bioencapsulation work on. Another long chain hydrocarbons. So the lifespan for a polyunsaturated fat, if you leave it out, is going to be maybe under a week, refrigerated a couple of months. Once it's bioencapsulated into a cell, into the hyphal package, that lifespan is going to be like up to 3 times longer. We've seen like 3 months, and that's unrefrigerated. Once you refrigerate that organism or freeze, you can see like a very shelf-stable lifespan. That changes with different products, but for example, like lycopene or some of these colorants, we haven't actually found our shelf stability issue with them yet. So that would be 2 years for like a lycopene just sitting on a countertop. So once you bring it into a cell, it has proteins and other, there's biological, essentially packaging to put around those molecules, and that is what's responsible for that extended lifespan. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Cody.
Thank
really
you.
appreciate your presentation. Our fourth presenter this morning is Alan Perlstein, who's the CEO and founder of California Cultured.
Thank you. Hi everyone, I'm Alan Perlstein. I'm CEO of California Cultured, where we are building a platform to produce the most desirable and endangered foods, ingredients, and products in the planet. We've developed an underlying platform that can mass produce these ingredients cheaply, cleanly, and anywhere in the world. And we're building this platform here in California. The background is biomanufacturing for products was supposed to solve many of the supply chain issues, making higher quality products that agriculture can't necessarily match. But unfortunately, it's had a lot of issues, very high costs, issues with cell lines, issues with desirability from consumers, as well as massive costs, which are still unfortunately going up. we've developed a platform that allows us to mass produce ultra low cost systems using biopolymers locally produced that we could utilize as a new type of biomanufacturing platform. We partnered that with a non-GMO new technology called embryonic stem cells for plants that we've basically figured out how to grow all the components of a plant, basically fats, bioactives, flavors, all by targeting the cells themselves. And we're in essence able to manipulate properties to reach unprecedented levels of products. Like for instance, one of our first products, we've been able to bring the natural bioactives such as a cocoa flavanol from 1% up to 20% per gram. And this is done through a non-genetically modified way, and partnering this with these polymer tanks can allow for many amazing ingredients for the first time to be produced for even below commodity prices. And we're basically focused first on the two main commodities that Americans as well as many across the world love, chocolate and coffee. Unfortunately, chocolate prices have exploded. Thanks, Cody, for sort of talking about that. It's unfortunately very difficult to grow. There's a lot of issues with sustainability, shipping, and even the quality of our chocolate is a big issue with lead, cadmium, pesticides, unfortunately infiltrating our most favorite foods. So we've developed a way to basically grow only the bean tissue that contains fats, flavors, and bioactives without growing the roots, bark, leaves, or anything else. And with this type of platform, we're able to grow specific designer cocoa with enhanced nutritional properties that are an incredibly large market and only growing. And we're looking to basically turn California into a center of excellence for cocoa and coffee production, where for a very long time, just the weather just didn't permit it. One of the first ingredients we're basically launching is called a cocoa flavanol. This is one of the most potent, safest, and cleanest antioxidants in the world. It has amazing effects on cardiovascular performance, as well as short-term memory performance and joint health. It's very high in demand, and we're able to mass produce this for even below industrial prices. So we could actually beat industrial prices today with just 2 of our industrial tanks. And from there, we've already signed offtake agreements with some of the biggest chocolate companies in the world. In addition to that, we've already been testing our product for over 20,000 people. Many people love our product and even prefer our chocolate compared to traditional chocolates, which shows of our amazing quality. And we're very happy that it's been accepted. And we've also got a lot of acceptance from some of the biggest chocolate companies in the world. ADM, Meiji, and Puratos, and Barry Callebaut have partnered with us. We just signed a 10-year offtake agreement with Meiji that is currently being paid, and we're receiving our first revenues for that to launch our products in the United States in Q2 of 2026. We've already raised quite a bit of capital from some of these partners. So we're first focused on an ultra premium product that can allow us to make some really great margins and revenue. And from there, go into midterm, eventually into commodity products that you can find at your local Costco and Walmart. So this is sort of our plan: start high, premium, really in-demand products, and eventually as the prices go lower and lower, we're able to launch commodity products. Right now, we're the first company in the world that developed this technology. We're probably one of the leaders in this here in anywhere in the world. Some of our competitors are using upcycled ingredients, which still have some issues. You can't call it chocolate. There's still issues with contamination, issues with cocoa butter content, and we're able to sort of solve this with our platform. We're focused on both a dual platform where we could produce these high-value ingredients internally in our facility in West Sacramento and sell them, as well as license out our technology to these giant global companies for them to grow chocolate anywhere in the world. And we're already starting to generate our first revenues, both from internal manufacturing and our first licensing revenue. We've already figured out how to produce amazing high quality chocolates, and we're getting ready to launch them next year with Meiji. We're projecting revenues of about $22 million as we get our facility operational and starting to launch our first products. We are basically about to submit our first GRAS dossier for regulatory approval this coming up quarter, the second the government opens. And behind that, we have our cocoa butter and our coffee technology, which we've just actually beaten Starbucks quality. So we're very excited that it's coming along. We have some of the experts in the world in plant cell culture technology, like Harrison Yoon. I've worked in food technologies before, from cell cultured meat. I previously started another local company called Oobli, which pioneered healthy protein sweeteners using precision fermentation. And we launched products all across the United States. And I'm building my second novel technology to copy the same success of Oobli. Our vision is to start in California and have California known as a global powerhouse of excellent chocolate and coffee production. And we're looking for assistance, partnerships, as we're scaling our products first in California, then around the world. We just received our first term sheet to start having half of our round closed. And we're currently looking for partners that are looking to build the future of chocolate and coffee. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. Any questions from our judges?
Oh yeah, you got the headphones. Okay, cool. Why California instead of, it seems like your whole team is New York based, and I know that they're also making a big push in New York State on bio, or at least origin. I saw a lot of New York University logos. Yeah, why California?
Yeah, so I originally came from New York with quite a bit of my co-founders. We are all located here. We all grew up on the East Coast, and we saw the future is in California, so we all moved here. We all live here basically right now, except for my CTO still has a job in Boston and he commutes. But we found that California is the future of food production, not only in the United States, but in the world. They have the experts, the knowledge, the infrastructure, as well as the desire for better food products.
From a taste perspective, how does your product stand up on consumer panels against, let's say, the Voyage and the other alternatives?
Yeah, it's currently ranked as high, if not higher, than many even traditional chocolates, let alone substitutes. I handed out some samples for you to try, and don't take me my word, the proof is in your hand right now. But we've already started ranking in some competitions that we're going to that they don't even know that we are cell cultured chocolate. And that sort of speaks to the quality of our product. And one of our secret weapons is Steve, who was a former Michelin-starred chef who understands fermentation to a really great perspective for consumers.
I think I heard you guys on the How We Survive podcast. Yeah,
yes.
It was great. Really interesting. So how are you thinking about labeling?
Yeah, so we can call our product chocolate, not chocolatey, not chocolate substitute, and that's sort of what some of the larger chocolate companies in the world want. So we've been able to confirm that with the FDA, with the European authorities as well, and our next step is actually China. They're trying to actually copy some of the Western terminologies, so we have already achieved the standard of identity for chocolate. So we're very confident that consumers and others around the world will accept it as well.
Very good. Any other questions? Well, thank you, Alan, very much for your presentation.
Thank you.
I noted that you provided samples to the judges. You're trying to buy their loyalty.
Of course.
The bio-made plastic, may not have the same appeal. As,
we need a lot of bio-made plastic actually, so we could definitely talk about that and showcase how it could be used.
We were promised some royalties actually, so I think we're okay.
Awesome. All right. Thanks everyone.
Thank you, Alan. Again, I want to thank all of our presenters, the 4 presenters, for presenting their businesses here. I want to thank our 3 judges for being patient and sitting through these presentations and scoring them diligently. And I want to thank our audience for stopping in and listening to the presentations. It's exciting to hear some of these new technologies coming out of this region and the opportunities they have for really transforming agriculture and our food business here in California. Thank you very much for your comments.